So our last speaker for tonight's event will be Singh. And she's going to hold a very interesting topic about being culturally homeless. Interesting. Please welcome Crystal.
I am homeless. Okay, let me rephrase that. I am culturally homeless. I am what you consider a TCK, or a third culture kid. For those of you that do not know this definition, a third culture kid is defined as a child who has lived outside of their parents' home country for a significant amount of their lives. Now, as you may already have guessed, we are kids that travel around the world for a significant amount of our lives, where we live in 3 or more countries. Raise your hand if you have a friend that speaks 2 or more languages, or you speak 2 or more languages yourself. Raise your hand if you are currently living outside of your home country or birthplace. Raise your hand if you ever get confused whether to write the day, month, and then year, and then, or the month, year, and date, or any variation of that sort. Yeah. These are some of the struggles that TCKs go through. And it can be hard. It's already as teenagers, we have so many burdens of creating friendships, getting good grades, focusing on colleges, going through puberty. All this complicated stuff that we already have to worry about. Why would you want to put that burden on us of taking us from going through 8th grade and our 1st grade of high school, and we have to move to a new place where we have to meet new people? And of course, when you move to a new place, you're going to get asked questions. What's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? We dread this question because we can't even answer this question. We have 4 answers to this. The first one is where you were born. The second one is where our parents were born. The third one is where we have lived. And the fourth one, which is the real answer, you'll never hear this one, we don't know. I know. It's such a simple question. How can you not be able to answer, hello? But it is a real struggle for us. We don't really know ourselves because we look at our lives and we've learned the most in one place. We have had most of the people that we've loved in another place, and we have most of our Facebook and Instagram pictures in another. How can we differentiate between all these different places where we're really from? 40% of TCKs struggle with creating friendships. 54% of them fly at least 4 times per year. And 85% of them know at least 2 languages. These are not really criterias of an average teenager. You know, usually you don't meet a teenager that flies 4 times a year. Usually those are only people that have CEO parents or people like that. And usually you don't have your best friends from China, but your teacher's from India, and you're like Australian. You know, it's very different. It's a very different life, and not many people understand this kind of situation. And this can mean that some TCKs, now not everyone, usually a lot of people like the idea of being able to press that restart button and being able to recreate your life or recreate your identity in a new surrounding of people. But most people think it's sort of scary because you have to start making new friends. And if you move to a place where you don't even know the language, you suddenly start getting scared about normal things like ordering takeout food and having to go shopping and not knowing any of the currency. And especially if you're from America like me, all of a sudden you start using kilometers. What? Miles, hello, $sign? No, it's not here. No one's ever heard of that. So it can be a great struggle, and I realize how great of a struggle this is and even though this is a big burden, you would think that not many people would want their child to live up in this kind of society, yet 60% of parents still want to raise their children as TCKs. Some struggling TCKs don't really understand this because it's hard to move from place to place, especially when you already have all the struggles of being a teenager on you. It's an extra burden, and I realized this when I went over to spring break. I went back to Florida, which is where I'm from, and okay, this is European money. Everyone knows it's color-coded, right? The 50s are orange, the 10s are red, 20s are blue, 5s are green. It's all color-coded. Easy. This is US money. It's not color-coded. Life gets 10 times more difficult. You have to start looking at the little numbers at the corner of the bill. And you realize, well, I realized that something that was so non-foreign to me, something that I had grown up with, was all of a sudden a challenge for me because I actually had to start counting the money and wasting people's time in line. And it was, I'm home. I'm supposed to be home. Why am I having such a problem trying to do a simple thing that my whole family can do? This shouldn't be anything foreign to me. I was culturally shocked at my own culture. Okay? If I can't even feel at home in my home country with my family, how can I expect to feel home anywhere else? It makes no sense to some of us, and in a place where I was supposed to be like everybody else, I was the only one that was different. And that's when this situation was for me all over the world. And it can make you feel alone. And that's hard for us. But I realized that it's actually not a bad thing. Before I moved, my first move was to Singapore when I was around 7, 8 years old. Before I moved, all my pictures were mainly in the same area, Florida. And the farthest I had gone was Disney World. And my greatest adventure was having dinner with Mickey and eating pancakes with him. That was my most interesting story that I had ever got to tell anyone. Recently, when I look at my photos, this is what I saw. I've been to Ireland. I've held a snake. I have seen snow, which most of my family can't even say. You know, I've been to New York. I've been all over the world, and that is something that very, very few people can say. And I'm sure all of us being in Bonn International School in such a diverse place where everyone's from different places, we can all relate to this. You know, when you're on vacation, you don't usually stay in Germany, you go to Italy, France. We're in a place where we're near a lot of places, so we can travel. You know, we can take one of those cool pictures next to the Leaning Tower of Pisa and not just get it on a postcard. It's cool for us, and when you think about it, it's such a cool experience because, okay, raise your hand if you can actually picture you staying in Germany and not going anywhere else. Like you're literally hostile, you're not going to go anywhere else. Yeah, right? Raise your hand if some of your greatest experience were outside of your home country. Exactly. See, we may get a little bit hesitant on not being in our home country and not being with our people. But so what if you lose, okay, this may seem a little insensitive, but so what if you lose some friends here and there, or you can't make friends in your home country? You have 20 other friends in 5 different other countries. You lived a life that not many people can relate to, yet that does not mean that it's a bad thing. And as the sociologist Ted Ward said in 1984, TCKs are the prototype citizens of the future. Because we do not live a 20-kilometer life, we live a 20-country life. And that is something that I would settle for any day. I am homeless, but I am happy. I am a TCK. Thank you.